Former Arkansas Governor and President-elect Donald Trump's appointee for U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Governor, good morning to you. Hope you have a happy new year. How important is it? Mark. Well, how important is it for Trump to be able to get back to law and order and get our country moving in a safe direction again?
Well, I think the most important thing, Mark, is that he's going to return the whole idea of justice to doing just that. And that's pursuing people who are criminally intent on murdering Americans and creating havoc and mayhem. This is a Justice Department under Joe Biden that's focused itself on DEI. They focused itself on making sure that we went after mothers going to school board meetings to speak up about their children, going after 75-year-old grandmothers who sang and prayed at an abortion clinic because they felt like that was a horrific thing happening in that building. And those were the people that were the targets of this Justice Department. And as a result, we've seen really very little to prevent the kind of activities that horrified all of us in New Orleans.
You know, when I think about it, we are still waiting for the truth about the COVID origins. We're still waiting for the truth about the assassination attempts against the president-elect. Now we're being told one story about Vegas to one story about New Orleans. Do you think, and I know Senator Kennedy has talked about this, do you think some point the government will actually tell us what they know about what these events took place?
Mark, this government won't, but I think Donald Trump's government will. And that's what many Americans, and myself included, are waiting for, is January the 20th. We finally will get back to a place where I believe that the agencies will start responding with a sense of honor and duty. What we have now is an incredible cover-up. We've been lied to so much, lied to about Joe Biden's condition. The media embarrassed themselves for the past 4 years over that. We've been lied to about the border, being told repeatedly by Mayorkas that everything was fine, it's secure. It hasn't been secure. We may have as many as 20 million people. We have no idea who they are, who've come into this country. And some of them, who Donald Trump deported, ended up coming back into this country, let go by the Biden administration, and one in the most just heinous kind of crime, set a woman on fire in a New York subway where she died. This is why we just can't hardly contain ourselves waiting until we can, as maybe Mrs. Waltz would say, let's turn the page. And that will be a wonderful thing when we can turn the page from this administration and the things that they have done to make us less safe.
You know, as a former governor, I think you view this differently than so many of us. When we see what's happened here in New Orleans, we see the response, the contradictory stories, whether it's the mayor calling it terrorism, then the FBI saying it's not, then they say it is, they say there are accomplices, now they say there aren't accomplices, Joe Biden not being bothered to come back to the White House on the day of the attack. How much and how are you evaluating the leadership and what we have seen so far in the aftermath of this?
I think in so many aspects of the Biden administration, it's been left up to the state leaders and local leaders to deal with issues, because this is an administration that simply has left the building, just like Elvis. And so what's sad is that we don't have really a consistent, a reliable, a truthful, and a dependable federal government right now, whether it's from the FBI or the intelligence agencies. But thank goodness we do have some excellent state leaders. Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana, an outstanding governor, former attorney general there. Local leaders are trying to investigate this with the sense of integrity, letting the facts take them to where they need to go rather than having conclusions. It was embarrassing to see the FBI spokesperson step up to the microphone and immediately say, oh no, this isn't terrorism. Well, how in the world could she know that? They hadn't even started their investigation, much less completed it. And then they have to walk it back and say, yeah, it was terrorism after all. Oh, there were accomplices. No, maybe there weren't. He was a lone wolf. They can't keep their story straight. And as a result, Americans have completely lost faith in an agency that we ought to revere.
Time to build it back up again. Governor Mike Huckabee, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mark, and Happy New Year.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.